What's up, guys? SirAllAboutMusic here, bringing you a review for Floyd's, I didn't look up the date again, 1977 album, Animals. And yes, welcome to my luxurious TV studio, as you can plainly see. Well, I probably should have mentioned that poster in my Wish You Were Here review, but pretty cool poster. I like the album cover of that album. Anyway, stop it. We're here to talk about Animals, which is my second favorite Pink Floyd album. And again, it was just like almost every other Floyd album. It used to be my favorite. I don't think there's only a couple of Floyd albums that have never been at the top of my list. But Animals, when I got it, was just so much different from anything else I'd ever heard, not just, from other bands, but from Floyd. I mean, it's an odd album in the Floyd discography. It's just a really odd, kind of out of place. You have influences from the blues and folk influences, but they really just don't have as much power on you as the listener as they do on Wish You Were Here and Dark Side of the Moon. They're not as apparent. And really the rest of the album is just taken up by David Gilmour's own personal songwriting. And he's a unique songwriter. I mean, his songs they're very whimsical. They hardly ever have a really rock hard, solid bottom to them, something to really weigh them down. They can get really airy, really floaty, really big and epic in their sound, really big, wide sounds. And I mean, that shows through on Dogs, which is easily the sole reason that I love Animals, is the song Dogs. It is quite possibly the best song that Floyd has ever written. One of the best songs that I think has ever been written. So yeah, Dave's own personal songwriting, because I'm pretty sure that he wrote most of the stuff on this album. Really, he really takes over, and you get these big, epic, wide songs, and yeah, it's unlike anything else that Floyd has ever done, and it's unlike anything that Floyd ever does do. Even when Gilmour takes over the band with Momentary Lapse of Reason and the Division Bell, he doesn't do anything as whimsical and as epic in its proportions as this. He kind of reverts to a pop formula with the departure of Waters. So, yeah. Excuse me. And, yeah. This album can get pretty dark, too. You see that in Pig's Three Different Ones. With Dogs, it gets pretty dark. But then it can be, it can be really punching, really fast, really energetic. Sheep. And actually, Sheep kind of reminds me of the stuff that's gonna show up, the style that's gonna show up on the wall at some points. And then you get these really laid back, the typical laid back Pink Floyd folk ballad, which is Pigs on the Wing. So that's cool. But really, the thing that I love about this is Gilmour's guitar playing. His guitar playing is amazing at this point. It's fucking phenomenal, besides his songwriting. And he does the best damn solos in the entire Pink Floyd discography on this album. His solo, this is the apex of Floyd's career for me, in my opinion. It's all downhill from here. The guitar playing is absolutely fucking fantastic. I mean, this is a guitar-driven record. Rick Wright really doesn't show up all that much on here. He does some keyboard stuff, but he really isn't a big player. Neither is Nick Mason. His drumming kind of becomes lacking, subpar. He becomes the metronome that I was talking about. Becomes more of a timekeeper. His fills are uninteresting. His beats are uninteresting. But Gilmour's guitar playing takes a front seat and becomes the main thrust of this album, and it's absolutely fucking amazing. And his solos, oh my god, they're gut-stabbing, gut-wrenching solos. His tone on here is absolutely killer. Let's take a listen. You gotta hear this. just the tone is so sharp and so beautiful. The tone is absolutely beautiful, and his solos are so dramatic, and they're punctuated, and they're just so epic. I mean, I love these solos because they're so dramatic without resorting to the kind of virtuosity of the that you see with a lot of other 70s guitar players. You know, this entire solo, there's no really fast runs in here. It's all very, very slow. Lots of oh God, what's the word I'm looking for? The notes are very elongated. Sustain. There's a lot of sustain on these notes, and a lot of bends. Not a lot of fast playing, and it just makes the solos so dramatic, and they're just great that way. They're absolutely fucking fantastic. So yeah, I mean, besides that, there's really not a lot else to say. This album is David Gilmour's guitar playing. That is Animals. And it's just great. It's a great album. It's definitely, you know, my second favorite Floyd album. So, 4 points. Originality, fantastic. Even though this album is so unique and it's so hard to pin down stylistically, well, that's really what makes it, you know, the originality great. Love this album. Totally great. Flow is fantastic. It gets shaky at some points, mainly because of I think Pigs, 3 different ones, and Sheep. That transition right there is a little shaky for me. But I love the way the album starts and ends. It resolves on a really low-key note, a very, very wishful note, that being Pigs on the Wing. So that's great. And then the production is focused, because this album is Dave's guitar playing. The production is focused around his guitar playing. Not a lot of attention is paid to Nick Mason or to Richard Wright, or really to the vocals at all of Roger Waters or David Gilmour. It's his guitar playing. It's his guitar playing that really the production centers around. And so I'd have to say that's my really only stickler point. So yeah, overall it's a great album. This definitely gets a 9.5 from me. I love Animals. It's a fantastic album. So that's all I gotta say. SirAllAboutMusic. Sorry these videos run so long. I just love Pink Floyd. I'll see you guys next time.